Well, it's 2026, and that's the time when people start making their New Year's resolutions. And a lot of people kind of distrust New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to give you some tips here. 3 things that you can consider today that will not only explain why New Year's resolutions are worth making if you haven't made one yet, how to actually achieve those New Year's resolutions, and then a really kind of a counterintuitive approach to New Year's resolutions that I think will really help you in the long run to really help turn them from just a short-term resolution to an actual long-term piece of your success. Hello, my name is Joe Justice. This is the Kanawha Valley Hustler podcast, and the purpose and vision of the podcast is to bring an entrepreneurial spirit to everyone in and around the Kanawha Valley, basically Southern Appalachia. I'm here in the Kanawha Valley, part of Southern West Virginia. I grew up in the coal fields of West Virginia. I've been around all of the area, Ohio, Kentucky, and everything, and I notice a lot of patterns, especially with business owners and entrepreneurs, and I'm just trying to reach out to help them, especially as we go into 2026. Beyond just highlighting some local people here, I want to bring some actual ways to progress and ways to achieve. So with that in mind, let's talk about the first part of your 2026 New Year's resolutions, why I personally like New Year's resolutions, and that's because a New Year's resolution is a fake because. So what is a fake because? Everybody's had a fake because, whether you know it or not. And I'm going to give you an example because I guarantee this has happened to you. You've not gone somewhere, you've shied away from doing something, you've avoided something, and one of your friends said, well, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you going to this party? Why aren't you eating this food? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And you would say, because my mom told me not to, or because my dad told me not to. That's a fake because. That's not a real reason. Now, the real reason might be because if I do that and my mom finds out, then I'll get punished. Now, that's a real because, but that's not what you say, is it? Because mom said to is enough. That's enough for you to do things. And there's actually, if you look at your life, and salespeople actually use this all the time, it's a great persuasion technique. I'm going to do this because I deserve it. What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything. So, because it's my New Year's resolution. Or, hey, why are you leaving work at 5 o'clock? Because my New Year's resolution is to spend more time with my family. Or, hey, why aren't you going out to dinner tonight? Because my New Year's resolution is to save more money. I'm doing the Dave Ramsey thing this year, right? So, fake because is a great way to get started. There's no reason to frown on it. There's no reason to put it down. It's a good way to ignite that fire, and it gives you something that you can use moving forward. And now let's talk a little bit about what that is, what that next step in actually moving forward is. Hey, so real quick, if you're looking to get a little bit more attention on what it is you do in 2026 so that you can grow your brand, ultimately get more revenue, I'd be happy to help you out with any questions you might have on today's world when it comes to using video to get attention. Any questions, shoot me a text. The number should be right here on the screen, 304-853-5522, and I look forward to getting connected in 2026. The next piece is all about making resolutions that are based on actions and not on outcomes. Extraordinarily important. So let me kind of break this down for you. Let's say your New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Okay, what does that even mean? Well, let's say we can get a little bit better and we can get a little bit closer by saying something like, my New Year's resolution is to lose 20 pounds. That's better than lose weight, but that's still not a very actionable set of resolutions or plans, or it's really nothing. Lose 20 pounds, but it's closer. So what about lose 20 pounds? My resolution is to lose 20 pounds in 3 months. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We've got some limitations on it. It's starting to come into focus. What does that actually mean? That would mean losing roughly 2 pounds a week, a little less than 2 pounds a week. Okay, so now first off, is that doable? Can a human being lose 2 pounds a week? Yeah, that's very doable. Okay, so we check that box. Now, what can we do every day? And every week in this case. Well, on Monday morning, I'm going to weigh myself. And then throughout the week, my resolution, my goals, my achievement, my habits, my operations, my actions, everything that I do around this resolution, whatever you want to call it, is going to be no desserts. I'm not going to eat any dessert this week. The week comes around, we get back on the scale on Monday. Did we lose the 2 pounds? If we did, great. Next week, we're not going to eat any desserts next week either. And then did it work? Yeah, great. Okay, now we're not going to eat desserts again. Okay, now we're making progress. Everything's excellent. But what if we don't lose weight? Then we can say, okay, no dessert and no bread. Okay, now we've taken 2 things off the table, and we're doing this systematically, action step by action step, so that over time, we're actually building out this system. We're not saying, I'm going to lose weight sometime, kind of maybe, we'll see what happens. We're saying, I'm going to not eat dessert this week. Well, that didn't quite get me there, so I'm not going to have dessert, or I'm not going to have bread. And then maybe we might work on portion control or something else if that doesn't work, but we're going to be able to actually systematically take an approach to it. And that's going to get us a lot closer to our long-term goals. And lastly, we've got the counterintuitive thing that I recommend everybody does, and that's pretty simply to keep your own counsel. Don't go around telling everybody, hey, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to spend more time with the family, or I'm going to save a ton of money, I'm going full Dave Ramsey. We're not doing that. Now, why don't we do that? You think that by telling people they will hold you accountable, and it's accountability that's going to help you achieve success. Well, let me ask you a simple question. Have you done that in the past? How well did it work out for you? If you're being honest, probably not that well. Why is that? Well, because after a little bit of time, after a month has gone by and you haven't lost any weight, you suddenly start to get the little side neck, leering from people. They're looking down their nose at you, and they're saying, hey, I thought you're talking real big, I'd be losing some weight. And now that motivation, that accountability, it's turning into resentment. People hate resentment. They hate resentment more than anything. So now it's like, just throw your hands up in the air. Let's not even do it. I don't even care anymore. And the reason for that is because the reward system for the human brain is a dopaminergic system. You get little hits of dopamine as you get closer to a goal, not as you achieve a goal. And you can understand this really simply if you've ever been under tight deadlines, let's say in school or work or anything else, and you got a big project and you're working on it and you're really motivated and everybody's pitching in and you go rah, 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 rah. You finish the project, you give the presentation, you drop off whatever it was, you completely finish it, you take a deep breath, and for a minute you're super excited, and then like an hour later you're like laying back depressed. Oh man, I don't even know what to do. This sucks. Oh man, I wish I would have never done. You just got you're just overwhelmed with negative emotions. It's because your reward system is not designed to reward achieving something. What it's designed to do is every time you get a little bit closer to your goals, you get a little shot of dopamine. You got a little bit closer, boom, dopamine. You get a little bit closer, boom, dopamine. How do you get that? If, let's say the scenario is losing weight, you get it by your clothes getting looser. You get it by the number on the scale. You get it by somebody making a comment. Hey, what are you doing? You look like you lose some weight. Or maybe if your goal is to spend more time with your family, you get it by realizing that one day, oh man, I just spent 2 hours with my kids and I never looked at my phone once. That's all of a sudden where you're getting your dopamine hits. That's all of a sudden fueling your energy. When you go around telling people, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to spend more time with my family, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you actually trigger in your brain the same thing as accomplishing it. You haven't done anything, but you've said, I'm going to do it, and you've seen the look on people's face, you've got the pat on the back, good job, way to go, I believe in you, and it's gone. The motivation power of forward progress is gone, and you don't want that. So, those are your 3 action steps, and those are 3 things that you can do to make sure that you're successful in 2026. Do make a New Year's resolution and use that as your fake because. Number 2, turn your outcome-based goals into action goals. Things that you can do every day and over time make into a habit. And then, most important of all, keep your own counsel. Keep it to yourself. You don't need to go bragging on Facebook. You don't need to post on Instagram. You don't need to make a TikTok video. Just keep it to yourself what your goals are, and then keep track of that. Pat yourself on the back every little step along the way. That will get you a little bit closer because you'll get that dopamine hit and you will be able to move forward. I hope you found this helpful. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, send this as a text or forward it to anybody that you think might be able to find it helpful. If you got any questions or comments, make sure you drop them in the comments. So until next time, this is Joe Justice, the Kanawha Valley Hustler, reminding you to hustle hard, hustle smart, and hustle with a smile.